Hi, my name is Samantha Payne. I am a high school teacher for Garden City High School, USD 457, and I just wanted to give a quick video going over what I went over in our PLC the other day, just to show you how to set up your Google Classroom and your Google Slides in order to incorporate the AVID Strategy gallery walk. So we are going to start in the Google Classroom. Now I have already gone through and created a blank slides, and so if you haven't done that already, you'll want to do that. And all you have to do is go to your drive and create a slides with the settings that you need. And I'll show you some of those, some different tips of things that you could put in that Google Slides in a minute. And so you're going to go to your classwork tab. You're going to say create assignment. From here you'll want to give it a title, so 10-9 PLC is just what I'm going to give it for now. You'll want to have it, and I'll probably put in here gallery walk of some sort just to kind of jog my memory on it. Any additional instructions you can either put them here, or I put them actually on the Google Slides in its own slide itself, which you'll see in a minute. So that is up to you how you would want to do that. Of course, assign your points and your due date. Okay, and then if you have things broken out by topics, which I highly recommend to just help students organize things, that's where you would put it. So I'm going to go to my drive. And because it's not the most recent thing I'm open, I'm going to have to scroll a little bit. I'm going to go to that 10-9 PLC training. Now there are three settings anytime you go to initially assign a document to students. There's three settings that you can select. The first is students can view the file, students can edit a file, or make a copy for each student. Students can view a file would just be students can look at it. They can't do anything with it. They'd have to make a copy of it if they wanted to edit it. Students can edit file, and that's what we're actually going to choose today. That is so that everyone in the class can see the edits. They can all work in the same document. It's one document. Everyone will see one document. Make a copy for each student would create a copy for every single student individually. You'd have 24 or 30, however many kids you have in your class. You'd have that many different files, because it would assign each student its own file. This feature is awesome, as I mentioned in the PLC training, to maybe upload a rubric and then just say make a copy for each student, and then you can mark up individual rubrics and you don't have to make extra copies or do anything because it's all attached to that student. And so I'm going to say student can edit the file, and I'm going to say assign. After it's assigned, students will be able to view it and begin editing and working in it. You may want to ask them to pause for a minute just so that you can explain a few things before they jump right in. But if it's something that you've done before in class, then most students will start to get the hang of it. So I'm going to go to that assignment and just show you the sample Google Doc that I have. Okay, so I leave it a basic theme. Students sometimes jump in and change the theme, but gallery walk with Google Slides, I tell them exactly what to do. I want them to create a new slide. I want them to add their image. So for me, I use this a lot in my Photoshop class to have students to show off their artwork, which you'll see in just a minute. I have an example pulled up. It's a fun way for students to see what other people are doing within the class. You could do it that way. They have some piece of art. They take a picture of it on their iPads. They throw it on there. Maybe it's a poem they wrote. They take a screenshot of the poem and throw that on there. So it's really, really nice because then you can put all the students' assignments into one place. And as long as you have no problem with them being able to see what the other ones have done, which I think is something that's really nice and fun to do with students, because then they can get ideas or gain insight from other students and collaborate together. This is a really good way to kind of put things all in one place too. And so I am going to use the OREO critique that I've learned through some of my grad school stuff, where students leave, and I actually gave specific instructions on what OREO critique is, and it's something where layer 1, something positive, layer 2, something they can improve on, and layer 3, something else positive. And I really have to, with high school students, prompt them not to leave comments like it's cool, or great job, or awesome, anything like that, because that's very, base level. That's not really using specific vocabulary, so I ask them to use specific things from Photoshop, specific layers, the effects, the layer styles, that sort of thing. I ask them to use that sort of terminology when they're describing each other's artwork. And so, as you can see from the training, a few teachers added some pictures, just practicing that, that's fine. But here's an example of what I would do with my students. So they all have added, and I've taken out some of their names for the confidentiality. So these students were forging paintings. They had to do a before and after, kind of what they found on the internet, and then their creation. We were practicing brushes and styles on layers. And so that's step one of the gallery walk, is having each student insert their image or their work onto a slide. Step two is to actually allow students time to critique or view or collaborate on other people's work. And so here is where I have students leave those OREO feedback comments here in the speaker's notes down below, and if it's hard to find, you can just drag that up so you can see it. I asked them in the speaker's notes to leave their feedback, and so they had to review 3 different images using that OREO feedback critique technique. And so here's an example of one. The students, instead of student 1, it would say their name, the student leaving the feedback, and then their critique. I like this method over coming in here and inserting a comment, only because I feel like it's a little bit cleaner of a look, and then I can still see the kids' work while also viewing comments. And so that's just the way I like it. The other way, like I said, is you could actually have the students, they'd have to click on the image, say insert comment, and then they could go in and insert their comment here and leave feedback that way. So those are 2 ways you could have them do that. So that is mostly that is how I've used the Google Slides to do the gallery walk piece. You could take it a step further then, maybe do this halfway through a process and have students leave some feedback, and then the student that created the work could go back, review that feedback, and continue working on their project. The final thing that I like to do with Google Slides and inserting images in work is I actually go to this grid view and watch the students hop around on each other's slides. It's really kind of fun because then as I'm listening to the conversation happen around the room, I'm also kind of seeing, oh, did you go to so-and-so's? That's really cool. Did you go to so-and-so's? That's really cool. Oh, did you see what he did? She did? That sort of thing. And it's fun to see their little circles with their initials pop up on the different places. And so then I might say, okay, we're going to vote on our favorite one. And I'll watch all the students hop through them and then ultimately end up on, okay, wow, this student had 10 votes out of the class. And then I can give them a little bit recognition in the class as well. I hope this tutorial was beneficial for you. If you have any questions, just shoot me an email. My email is spayne@gckschools.com. Thank you, and I hope that you are having fun finding ways to incorporate some technology into the AVID strategies that the district is encouraging us to use.